So having had great results from my little GT Sonic ultrasonic tank, which is advertised as the 2 litre model, but actually is just over a litre up to the fill line here. So 2 litres is actually a litre. I found, I'll pick that up. I found the capacity of that thing was okay, but doing things like carburetors and pistons and so forth kind of meant that I had to do it in a number of goes. The tank wasn't just quite big enough. You see the crown of that piston, or the skirt of that piston, is going just above the line there. So great, really happy with it, but not big enough. So behold, this is allegedly a 6 litre ultrasonic tank. I've got some great text on the front here. Do not touch the socket with wet hands to reduce the risk of electrocution. Apparently only reduces the risk, so electrocution could still be a fact. And do not use this unit when the tank is not to fill with water. Excellent. It's got a separate heating element on it. This one here heated the solution at the same time as it was turned on, which is all well and good, but it took like 25-30 minutes or so to heat the solution up. And bearing in mind you're only really supposed to use this thing for about 45 minutes tops. It's got a 15-minute timer here, so you're running that 3 times before the solution's up to temperature. So it's advisable with these little units to put warm water in, 20 to 40 degrees they say. So I bought this stuff, just an engine degreasant. I put about 20 millilitres of this per litre. It requires, on the label here, it suggests the mix ratio here, 1/50th mix ratio, depending on the degree of soiling. It's worked quite well actually. I've worked with about 20 millilitres of that per litre in that tank there, and it cleans these fellas up rather well. Yeah, happy enough with that, especially when it's coming from that sort of state, and they were all this sort of state. They're not great. So that's the fluid. What I need to do, take the plastic off this thing. It's got plastic on that as well. Plastic and plastic. This is a, I bought this on eBay. I buy too much off eBay, give them too much of my money. It seems to match, a nice basket, seems to match a fairly generic style of this sort of capacity. They all look exactly the same. I'm sure they all come from the same place. They've all got the same misspelling on the front, regardless of where you buy them from. I haven't actually checked whether Frost's has the spelling mistakes on the front, but certainly the ones on Amazon and the ones on eBay do. So I've had a hunt through. This one's a 240 volt model, full capacity, 6 litres. We'll see. We'll give it a go. Got quite a nice finish to it. It's made in China, but that's predictable. It's got like a turned aluminium finish on it. The tap there, obviously when this thing's got 6 litres of fluid in it, it's going to weigh a fair bit. I'm going to attach a hose to that and drain off the fluid. We'll see how effective that is. So I think really, first steps, we'll get some liquid in there, warm liquid, and we shall lob a piston in. And the knife. So I have topped it up, and basically what we've got is, it took just under 5 litres. It's probably about 4.8 litres of fluid. On the front here now, I've powered it on, just put the power in. On the front here we've got the temperature control on this side. So the current heating is set to 50. I'm going to reduce that, I think. Take it down to about 40. It says 20 to 40 degrees. I'm going to turn the heater on, and it's now warming the solution up. Okay, so it's over 20 already because I put a warm solution in there. Right, secondly, on my measurements of how much of the detergent to put in there, it was 20 millilitres per litre, so I'm going to chuck 100 in there, and in it goes. Okay, so next what we'll do, let's lob a piston in there. I'm just going to put one in so we can do a comparison. It's piston number 5. 25. Right, okay. I'm going to pop this into the tank. I'm going to check. Yeah, it's gone way over the fill line. It's properly in there. Let me just drain some of this stuff out. It's actually not that far over. It's on the fill line now. Okay, so there's the piston. It's in there. Now, you can see the temperature's already climbing. It's already up to 28 degrees. So we should be okay there. Next thing, I want to increase the time. So let's go up to probably a 20-minute session. So I'm going to turn this on now. It's over 20 degrees, so I'm happy enough that that's going to work. And then it'll make a load of noise. See if it's noisier than the other one. Turning it on. So, 20 minutes of ultrasonic cleaning. The temperature's got up to 38 degrees. To be honest, that's probably enough. I'm just going to stop it there. Don't need the heater to run anymore. But 20 minutes of heating. Right, let's have the lift off the lid. Ew. It's not quite so vibrant green as it was, so I would hope that there's been a fair amount of cleaning go on here. This crap here is just wiping off. Right, what we probably need to do is go and rinse this off under the tap and see how it's come up. Okay, so give it a quick wipe over. It's not quite as clean as I might have anticipated. A lot of the carbon on the top has softened significantly. I could actually just wipe it off, but it's going in for another dunk. Interestingly, one side of the piston is a lot cleaner than the other side. This is the side that was facing upwards, so I'm going to put it in like that this time. I'm also going to add a dose of my secret addition, which is salt, and see what happens if I chuck a little salt in there as well. I've had quite good results from putting salt in these things. So, give me another 20 minutes. Okay, so we've had another 20 minutes. Interestingly, the temperature's gone up, even though the heater was turned off. So I'm guessing the device does its own heating to maintain the temperature. Inside here. Oh, that's looking better already. There's some quite heavy duty carbon deposits on the crown, but overall that's come through an awful lot better than it had done. What I'll do is I'll give the crown a clean up with some steel wool or something. Scratch it off with my fingers, look. That's how soft the carbon's got. Right, so gave it a very gentle wipe over with some steel wool, which is hiding over here somewhere. I really ought to get some more because that's looking a bit skanky. And the carbon just rubs straight off, and on the top there on the crown you can see the compression ratio stamps. You can see that the whole thing has actually come up quite nicely. I've just lubed the small end and the gudgeon pin because I don't want this thing to suffer from its ill effects of being in water. Just as a before and after comparison, this is what went in, and I chose the worst of the two as well. So that's after 40 minutes in the ultrasonic cleaner. I'm going to try the other piston 20 minutes with the salt solution, because I think that might help it. Right, next trick I've got to do is get the gudgeon pin out of this. So in summary, I guess about an hour in the workshop tonight, and the pistons have come up beautifully. Happy enough with that. I can reuse that, I reckon, providing the engineer says yay. Conrods, they went in as a lump and they came up nicely. The piston I threw in earlier on, I've not taken the gudgeon pin out of it yet, so it's still assembled, and again it's come up fairly free of carbon and other contaminants. And here is the uncleaned. This is the last one for me to clean, and you can see the state of the crap on the top, the state of the crap on the skirt inside, the rod. I mean, just everything is absolutely gross, with decades worth of carbon build-up and oil build-up and black death. It's things that Rover V8 suffer from. So, in a nutshell, I'm quite pleased with that.